Hello. Okay, I'm back. So there we go. For some reason I couldn't, do a clap. Okay, that's fine. So where we left off, I could pick this up. I could be like, hi. So where we left off, Izuku just gave the people, the villains, the trackers. So that happened. Um, and I still do not know what ship. I'm probably gonna do a villain ship. So I'll probably most likely do a Dobby X Deku ship because it's the only villain ship that I like. Um, and the only other ship that I like that's a villain one is Shiggy Deku, and Shiggy Deku is kind of not good here because they're stepbrothers, and you know, you can't do that. That is technically incest, and I said technically because they're not related, but it's still disgusting. So I'm not doing that. Thank you very much. Um, but I am gonna do Dobby Deku because I don't want to do like the classic like, oh, he's dating a hero and he's a villain type shtick. Like, examples are Dobby and Hawks and All for One and Inko, which I do. I do not ship, but I count as canon. Um, Shigaraki, and apparently some people say that he's dating the bunny chick. I do not know who that is because I do not know much about that person. But apparently that's a good ship. A lot of people ship Villain Deku with like Bakugo and Uraraka sometimes even. But then he normally like makes them turn evil. And most of the time he even does, some of the time he also does, they also do Toto Deku or Toto Villain Deku. Um, because that's also a really good one, and they normally just like make him. But like again, not only do I not do Maku Deku, I also do not do Uraka Deku very much, and I can't, or I'm not gonna do another Toto Deku. So I only really have Cammy, which I can't do again. Kiri, which I'm not going to do for this one because I don't feel like he would turn into a villain, even if like he also has a very tragic backstory. Not a very tragic, just a pretty tragic in bullying. That's just, it's barely even a spoiler because I'm guessing most of the people who watch this watch the whole series and are just wanting more. But if you're just here to get a basis of what the story is like, why are you here? You're just getting spoilers. Because this is still based off of canon. It's just it departs at some point. Um, but it's still like the basis is in canon. I'm so confused. Why is there music? Is that just a radio on someone? Okay. Anyways, um, God, I'm so itchy. Okay, I need to take a shower. Okay. I can also turn off the mic so you can't even hear me sometimes. Like, it's fun. It's also not like a YouTuber microphone. I got this at Five Below, and it's like a smaller version of like a singer's microphone. With like, it looks like I'm like about to do like a sports thing because it has like the same exact stand, and then I have a tripod to hold my phone. Someone has the keys, apparently. Okay, back on topic. Getting off topic with Anime Gamer needs to be discontinued as fast as possible. My sibling said that I should write a script. But no. because I don't want to do a script, and I don't like scripts. So, yeah. Anyways, that was me clapping back on topic. So obviously Shigaraki's like, good job, I guess. Like he's like, he doesn't want to say good job, but like he's like, good job, I guess, because he kind of doesn't like the fact that a new guy just appeared and he's apparently the biological son of what he thought of as his dad, and he's stronger than him, and he's probably gonna get All For One's quirk. He already has a similar quirk to All For One, so like he's already out of the limelight, and he's a child. So like he's practically a child. He's the same. He has not aged mentally since he was like however old he was when something happened, when the Fire Nation attacked. Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. You don't probably know. Some people might know what that it means. But this isn't an Avatar: The Last Airbender thing, so I can't be sure if anyone knows what that meant. I hope you do, because that's really funny for me. Because I love Avatar: The Last Airbender. So like, can you do what if for Avatar? I guess you could be like, what if Aang hadn't like been frozen in ice, or what if the Air Nation won the fight? That would be a cool thing. Like they won the fight, and it's just like the Fire Nation never gets big in like the Air Nation, but then like the Avatar still freezes after 100 years, and like they're planning on fighting the Air Nation again, but they're more calculated. I don't know. That's pretty cool. And then he can actually like talk to like Air Nation people and like be like, "Hey, yo, what's good?" I don't know. I think that'd be pretty cool. Then I'll have to make up another character who's just like a random air guy who like becomes a part of the team. And then we can have Toph, Zuko, and everyone. The whole game, Sokka, freaking Kira. Oh my god, I forgot her name. She's like his main love interest, and I just completely forgot her name. It's Toph, Sokka, Zuko, Kira. I know it starts with a K, I'm pretty sure. See, I forget things, and I've watched this show like 7 times. I have merch from it. Yet I cannot tell you for the life of me what one of the main characters are. Back on topic. I just probably made one person go deaf. It's fine. Already 14 minutes in, and I've said one sentence about the thing. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's get back on topic. Oh, damn it. So, again, Izuku's just like, yeah, thanks. And then he's just like, walks away. And then everyone's like, hey, where are you going? He's like, I still own the house that Inko owned, that mom owned. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he goes back home. He like unpacks his stuff. Obviously, he like put all of his All Might merch in like a drawer, like in like a cupboard or some shit. Because I mean, All Might kind of like I'm gonna say he sold all of his All Might merch, and now he has bank because all of his stuff is like limited edition merch, and so he has bank because he hates All Might now, because All Might practically killed his mom. Um, so yeah, I need to shave my legs. Damn. Maybe one day I'll do a face reveal and then you'll see what I really look like. Face reveal. But I probably won't because I like not being able for anyone to see me because I look ugly as fuck. Okay, 15 minutes in and I've said a few things. Okay, this is more productive than ever. Okay, so he goes home and he's looking on his phone and then and then he reads an article. Maybe it's like he's just like reading articles and stuff, not any specific article. And one of them is maybe like um who are they? And then like he clicks on it, it's like who is the League of Villains? And then like some people are like, oh, there has to be a mastermind behind this. And he's like, and then he goes to school the next day, and they're talking, and then um, Aizawa's like, there must be a traitor among everyone here because it's impossible for the low to. It's impossible for these like dumb villains to know where where we are, and someone, and then like Kirishima's like, "What? Do you think it's one of us?" And then Aizawa looks at him like, "Yes." Like he doesn't say it because like the eye contact was like, "Yeah." And then Kirishima's like, "Well, it's not." And Aizawa's like, "How do you know? You only know if you're not the imposter, if you're not the traitor." And Kiri's like, "I guess." And then he like, I don't know, maybe he like just like looks back down and stuff. Um, like defeated, and and Aizawa's just like and then okay, I'm sorry. Just really, I hate how much I'm like stuttering and like um, and then all Aizawa, fucking hell. And then Aizawa's like, so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna bring in um this woman, and she has a quirk where she can tell if you're lying or not. Um, and Izuku's immediately like, I'm scared. But then he just thinks, I can just give her a quirk and I'll be fine. And so he just gives her a quirk when it's his turn, like sneakily. And her quirk is like, I don't know. What would be a useful quirk in this situation? Um, Maybe like the quirk is that she it'd be so much easier if he had an all for one. Like the quirk all for one, not like his dad all for one. But I'm not gonna make him have all for one until like the ending, maybe. Um because this entire story is not what if Izuku had all for one, the quirk, but what if he had Loan Shark? And I'm not gonna veer off and be like, oh, now he has all for one and like, oh, blah 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 blah. No, because that's not what I'm gonna do. Um, it'd be so funny if I end this and it's like everything's muffled because I recorded a thing and it sounded really really bad. It was like the entire time, and so I don't know if it did this with this one. So for all I know, it could be really really bad, and I would just have to not upload this 19-minute, probably hour long video. Um, so yeah, that would be kind of annoying. wouldn't it? But I digress. So I'm removing it from its stand. Oh, look at that. I have the mic in my hand. So this is really fun to have the mic in like this. Like, hello. So I don't know how annoying this is to someone else though, because I'm not gonna rewatch this. So you're just gonna have to bear with me, on this. I should probably like. It's like 20 minutes in, so I'll just see if I'll listen to it and I'll see if this works. Here, just 7%. Jesus Christ, almost dead. So he goes back to Jesus Christ. So the quirk that he would give her is like she gets stronger, but as she gets stronger, she gets dumber. Like she's Hulk. Like the angrier she gets, the stronger she gets, but the dumber she gets. And basically, what he does is he like if he just gets her angry. I don't know how he would get her angry. Maybe he would like I don't know. He would get her angry in some way, and then she would get angry, and then she got stronger and stronger and stronger, and then she would just get dumber and dumber and dumber, and then she couldn't answer his question, and then she just storms out, and to get calmer. And then Aizawa was like, "What happened?" And he's just like, "I don't know." Now Bakugo's suspicious because like she just broke down the freaking door, which is not her quirk. Um, and also she was really, really stupid. Like she couldn't like speak because she was that angry. She was also that strong. Um, because if someone who went from a PhD in like I don't know some shit, I don't know what this woman would have to not being able to speak, I'd probably think they're pretty strong. Because like it's like the same exact amount of strength when you lose the intelligence. It's like when one goes down at the same exact speed, the other one goes up. So she would have a PhD in strong. PhD in strong man, strong woman. Sorry. Um, and Izuku's like, well, that happened, and Bakugo's very suspicious because I mean, he's really the only one who knows about his quirk, and so he was like, what happened? Um, um, Later Izuku just like removes the quirk, um, sneakily, obviously. Um, but now he made sure that he was last. So now everyone else is fine, and they're like, well, how would we get Izuku to be sure? And then they just hook him up to like a lie detector, like a real one that like exists. But obviously, unlike a quirk, you can fake a lie detector. So Izuku's fine with this one. And what he does is he just is like really calm and like he doesn't like think about it. He just lies in the calmest way possible. I'm teaching people how to fake a lie detector test. I mean, it's not like if any people watch this, they're gonna be like taking notes on like how to pass a lie detector test. Also, why would you need to take? Who would watch this and then need to take a lie detector test? I mean, I don't think most people take lie detector tests in their life. But I don't know. Maybe there's some person, and I also might be wrong. So, if anyone just like tries to use this knowledge to like, I don't know, do something, they might be wrong. This might not even work. So, I'm just pulling this out of my a-hole. So, so he takes a lie detector test and does it, and he passes it perfectly. Um, and he's just like there, and then he walks away. And they're like, this is the best that we could get until she recovers. Um, but by then, we're gonna time skip. She's still recovering because, um, I'm just gonna say, like, that immense strength really, like, hit her hard. Also, like, becoming dumb and then regaining your smartness, probably not the best. So he still hasn't taken the lie detector test. Um, um, sorry, I just hate my stuttering so much. Is this even a stutter? I don't know if this is stuttering or not. Is this just like like stumbling on your words? Is that what a stutter is? Big bang philosophy, and that's what this channel is. Not some idiot stuttering, trying to talk about something. Oh, my phone's dead. Okay, I guess I'll just go get a charger, and I'll see you in 1 second. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna. Okay, I'm really bad at doing this, so let me just. Okay, just get in. I should probably just there. Okay, so now you're gonna hear. I'm putting you back in the thing. So I'm gonna go grab my charger. I'm gonna pause this. See you guys in. Hello, this thing work? Ding 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 ding. Yeah, it works. I knew that. So my phone's not charging. Hopefully my baby brother, while I was gone, did something. I don't know what he did, but hopefully it doesn't fuck with my recording. Because that would be kind of annoying. So now my phone is charging. I don't think he knows the fact that I know whenever my phone is unplugged. So eventually he'll probably try to mess with it. That's fine. So while we're still here and we're still recording, I'm just gonna continue talking. So I forgot where we left off because it's been like a few minutes. Right, we're in the the U.S. festival, the UA festival. Bad, wow, bad. Did I do? I don't think I did. I don't think I did. In the last AU, I don't think I did the thing to get the license. I didn't do that, so this is gonna be great because I remember that now. So now I have more content to make, um, which is always a plus. So where we just left off, like not like where we left off. Now they're going to the UA festival. Obviously, Izuku is always gonna be paired up with Shinso because in every single universe, he is always paired up with Shinso because it's just for simplicity's sake. I'm not gonna make him like Momo or like anything. The only time I ever did it was with Denki. That's the only time I ever changed it. Back in what if Deku was a Quirkless badass. That was because though he was a lot stronger, Denki, in that other universe, than in canon. But because Izuku, I also changed it in What If Deku Was Rich and What If Deku Was a Badass because he won in both timelines. He would also win in this timeline as well, but that's already giving a spoiler to my own canon. Or my fanon. Or my AU. Whatever you want to call it. My canon, my AU, or this fanon. Also, technically, it's not my AU, but I've morphed it to be my AU. This, again, still started off with Angel bracket. So, all the props to that person. I don't know if Angel watched this. I don't know if they just, like, recommended it to me and then just walked away. But if you are watching this, thank you. If you're not, then you're not. So I can't recommend. I can't be like watch this because that's not how words work. Back on topic. So first is Shinso and Deku. He was still told by Orjiro. I think that's his name. Might be wrong. The tail guy, the guy with the tail, the guy with the tail. Oh, Jesus. Um, about Shinso's Snickle. Oh wait, that's like the last one. What? So we start off with the race. I just immediately was like, last one, because that's like the most fun part. So it starts off, and he's immediately, I would guess, once it starts, Izuku would just burst off. Because, I mean, he can't fly, but he can run. Can't fly yet. Probably will be able to fly sooner or later, because, I mean, the more he gives people powers, probably the more powers he would get. Not their powers, but because he's going to keep on leveling up for infinitely if he just makes every single person a mindless murderer. He would just have every single power known to man. Because I mean, if you just completely max out one power and then you can't upgrade that power more, so you just get another power. Um, so you know, and I would guess that he gets multiple tap powers with every single like multiple times at once, and then with every single kill, every single power levels up. So like eventually he would probably be able to fly. Probably really soon actually. Because I mean, if he just gives like probably like two other people a quirk, he'd probably be able to fly and like teleport and like a whole new set of powers. But that's off. That's not off topic, but that's spoilers. Um, for the future of this series. Um, so he'd probably just bolt. For the first part, then for the next part, he would have to not be bolting, but instead just like balance. Because I'm guessing he's probably good at balancing. Just like normally, because again he can't like fly or anything. If he could fly, he would just fly over this. He'd fly over everything. Um, and for the bombs, he would just bolt again, but instead he would bolt so fast that the bombs can't even go off and fast enough for him. Like he'd press it, and there's like I'm guessing there's like probably like at least a 3 second countdown. Um, because that's just an estimate from when in canon he like hits the thing on the ground and then it waits a few seconds and then explodes. So I'm gonna guess he just bolts and then like as he's bolting towards the end, some of them start exploding, and then once he's at the end of the thing, it's like everything is exploded in his wake. So technically now, people can just walk on that area and just be fine. But he doesn't care about other people. He just cares that he won. Um. So, and he obviously won. Um. I would say like maybe a minute afterwards, Bakugo. I mean, who would be second? Todoroki, I believe, was second. Um, and then third would be Bakugo close behind Todoroki because, they still have the same exact cannon fight. Um, just without Deku storming in, knee, arms on shoulders, legs on shoulders, smashing the thing. Because that doesn't exist in this AU. Because he doesn't need to be tactical, he can just be smart. Which is also tactical, but like he doesn't need to be that tactical. Um so now everyone just thinks that his quirk is just he runs fast. Because that's all he's shown, is him being able to run fast. So people are like, that's a really cool quirk. I'd probably say that Ida's fourth. Because I mean what was I gonna say? Izuku won with just speed, so I'm pretty sure that Ida can also win because he just has speed. So um, for the next game, he just like he wasn't able to get anyone except for probably um fuck, I forgot how to say her name. It's Mei, I believe. May May Hatsume. I think it's May. Um. So, and he's like, hey, and then she like asks him, and then he's like, sure. Um. And what she does, she just gives him like rockets, and then she just like, I guess she would just probably just like hold on to the rockets somehow. I don't know. And then they would just fly up, and then just chill there. So, I mean, it's not like they could get any more points, but you physically cannot win against them if they have the 10,000 point, the 10 million. Is it 10 million points? Um. So thank God for that. And then May just like for shits and gigs probably just like did some other tech. Like maybe she just like showed like a force field to like the investors, or like maybe her gripping is like a gripping, like how she gripped to the jetpack is like a gripping device, and she's just like selling it like while they're flying up in the air. Like, look at how long these jetpacks run for. Like, look at these force fields, they're impenetrable. Look at this grip I'm holding on. I barely have to hold on. It's the same exact thing. Like I'm holding on for dear life, but instead I'm just touching it. And then everyone's like, "Oh, this is crazy." And then Izuku's just like, "Yeah, this is pretty good." Like kind of like selling the pitch even more. Because I mean, business is it always needs to be booming. Um, I would think that May would be Izuku's only friend because of this. Um, so I would say that they become okay friends. Um, should I do a May and Izuku ship? I like that ship. No, I want to do that for a supporting AU. I'll just do the Dabi Deku, and then I'll just for the supporting thing AU. I'll just do a May Hatsume. I need to make that my next AU. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. My next video, my next series, my next video would probably just be me retrying to do the miraculous ladybug thing. But my next series, I'm gonna finish the ladybug thing. I need to finish this first. Then I'm gonna finish the miraculous ladybug thing, and then I'll have a blank slate to do whatever I want. And then I'll probably start 2 new series, or maybe just 1 new series, because I don't think I can handle 2 more series, because I can barely do this series. I think I'm gonna finish the series with just this one. So this series, it's gonna be a very long episode, but it's gonna be the finale. And then I think I'm gonna run on this high of being able to upload, and then I'm just gonna do a part 2 to the miraculous ladybug thing, and then maybe a part 3 to the miraculous ladybug thing, and then that'll probably be the finale. Though it's very long, miraculous ladybug, and it's still going, so we don't even know how this ends. But I'll just make up an ending. And then I'll have a blank slate for tomorrow, which is when I'll start the next series, which would be What If Deku was a supporting guy. So that's probably where I'll go. So this will probably be the finale, which is really weird because it's gonna be a long finale. But I mean, would you rather have a short finale or a long finale? I would rather have a longer finale, because it's like you need to wrap everything up. Like if I just ended it here, it would probably be really bad. So I should probably pick up the pace. So back to the series. Where was I? Alright, so yeah, they become okay friends. I would probably say that Izuku would, like, after this, Orjiro, That's not his name, is it? It's gonna be like, his name is Kenneth. Like, what are you talking about? I'm just gonna call him Tail Guy because it's so much easier, and I can't get that wrong because you'll know who I'm talking about. The Tail Guy obviously tells him about it because he wants Shinso to lose. Because I mean, I'm guessing he'd want Shinso to lose and give Izuku the best of luck. And Izuku would just go out there. Now he has no friends backing him up because unlike before, he doesn't really care. He doesn't have friends. He doesn't care about friends. Um. That also probably means that there's not gonna be a stain fight. Um. He'd probably just be like the most that he would do, because he has very little hero in him. That he'd probably just be like, Todoroki, you should probably like look in the streets or some shit. Like, Todoroki, when you go to wherever they went, look in the like alleyways. Trust me, you wanna, or like some shit like that. Because I feel like he would know Ida's plan. Because I mean, he already did in the last thing. And then Todoroki's like, that's weird. He probably thinks that he's gonna get kidnapped or some shit. Which is good because that means that he's gonna come prepared for anything. But or maybe he just thinks that he wants to talk. And Izuku wants to talk, but that's not what he wants. So Izuku probably would just go. Back to the storyline. I just kind of just went really off the rails. There. God damn it. Shut up, planes. The freaking hell. Like, planes. They're so close as well. I like planes. That'd be funny. But it's actually I like trains. Tom Scott. So Izuku just thinks this smart and just bolts towards him and then just punches him in the face and then he wins. So next would be Mei versus Ida. I feel like Izuku would know the fact that Mei's not gonna do anything. Mei's not gonna try. Cause I mean he probably was talking to her because again he's the only friend that he has now, and they're barely even friends. But he's talking to her because they're talking about how their fight was, and then she tells him oh, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pitch all my stuff and then I'm gonna leave, and he's just that's reasonable, and then she's like, yeah, it's really smart, isn't it? And he's like, yeah, so she, it happens, and then Izuku's like, wow, she wasn't joking. So who would be next in Izuku's lineup? Todoroki and Izuku would be next. Izuku would walk out and he can just because of the pre-fight talk that he would probably still have with Todoroki, he could tell. I'm not tired. I just yawn sometimes. He could probably tell the fact that he's been tortured by a hero, you can say, or figuratively burned by a hero. Scarred, I should have said scarred by a hero, because figuratively because he's literally been scarred by a person. That's his mom though, not his dad. So Izuku's just you do realize the fact that you becoming a hero just more what your father wants. And then Todoroki's what do you mean? He's well, if you became if you didn't become a hero, or and you became I don't know, a doctor or something, it'd be the biggest fuck you to your dad ever. And he's like, what do you mean? Because like he's like confused now, because he's like, how does he know? And he was like, I can just tell by looking into your eyes that you've like been scarred. And he's like, oh, what? And then he like also then he said it again, like he said something different, Jesus Christ. And he's like, I can tell by you looking at your father that he's the person who did this to you. And then he's like, oh. And then he's like, you also don't use your fire quirk, which is the quirk that he gave you technically, which is the quirk that he also has. Um, so you can still see the fact that he's a hero, but like he's not a hero. He'll never be redeemed. um, or maybe he will. Stay tuned. That was really quiet. I'm pretty sure you can't even hear me because me and my sister, god damn it, me and my sibling have tested this, and apparently whispering really quiet is inaudible with this mic, because I'm guessing it's not for ASMR. I like ASMR. Controversial, probably. Maybe some of you might watch ASMR. So they, blah, blah, blah. So they go, and it's like, Jesus Christ, my brain. Okay. What am I saying they go? Okay. So they fight, and Todoroki just forfeits because he thought about it, and he's like, that is true. And then, so Izuku doesn't even have to fight Todoroki. And Todoroki thought about it, what he said. And he thought, well, what could be an even bigger FU than just becoming a doctor or something? And he thought, I could become a villain. But he's like, should I become a villain? Should I just become, like, a janitor? A janitor? What would be the least hero thing that I can do? He thought a villain. Then he also thought, like, things that you don't save people with, like a teacher. Which, I mean, you could technically save lives as a teacher. Like, make kids not want to die. But, like, maybe a voice actor, if you will. Or just, like, something that you could never really save a life with, like a bookkeeper. What can you not save? What is the least likely to save a person's life, other than being a villain and killing people? Probably, like, a bookkeeper, like, yeah, a bookkeeper is what I would think. The reason why I think a bookkeeper is none of your business, but bookkeeper is probably what I would think. The least likely. What else? Like, if you become, like, a person who makes things, you could save a person's life by not making it so then they could die from it. So save a life by not making them be in danger at all. If you become, like a janitor, you can make someone save a life by, like, not tripping. But if you become a bookkeeper, you can't really save a life there. If you become, like, an actor or something, you can save a life by someone, like, looking up to you and, like, using you as, like, a vessel and, like, that kind of thing. If you become, like you can save a life in most jobs. But bookkeeping, can't really save a life there. So, I would say he'd probably think of bookkeeping, but I think his main idea would probably be a villain, because, this is kind of a spoiler, I'm pretty sure, but it also might not be. But he has Dobby's idea in his head of, like, he has the same exact mentality as Dobby, who is also known as Toya Todoroki. So, and so he just like thinks, God, oh my god, my brain. Okay. Why am I yawning so much? Okay, so yeah, that'll probably be the main thing that he thinks of, like Dobby. Um, um, and obviously now because he forfeited, and so did Ida because of his family problems. Um, it would just be Bakugo versus Izuku. And Izuku would probably just like because I believe Bakugo and Izuku aren't friends, but they're not enemies either. Izuku would probably just like attack him like he would any other of his friends. Or like he's trying not to kill him, but he's also doesn't really care. Um um so he just kinda like probably just like grabs him while running and then just like walks like puts him out. And so then he doesn't get hurt. Like once it goes, he just bolts, grabs him, and then puts him outside. And then, Bakugo's just like, God damn it. God damn it, Deku. Damn it, Deku. And so Izuku won. Second place would be Bakugo. Third place would be Togoyami. Fourth place, my siblings outside. My siblings on the balcony, actually. Not on the balcony. She's at the window. She's behind the window. Come on now. You don't look like a stalker. Go on out. Okay, fine. What are you doing? Okay, they just like appeared. I don't know why. It was scary. It wasn't scary. It was just funny though. That was my sibling. You couldn't hear them, but they were there, and I was talking to them. I'm not insane. They were. That's a person. Well, they're not a person. They are a person. They are nothing. I am insane. I'm in a psych ward right now. This isn't a balcony. This is a soundproof thing, and this is my way of expressing myself. It'd be funny if that's actually what it was, but it's not. So think. I hope they don't watch this, because every single time that they watch one of my videos, they just like tell me the cringiest parts because I hate my voice and I hate some things that I say. So they'll probably just like show like me at random points, like I don't know. What have I done that's cringy? I don't know. Maybe they just like show me and it's just like me like purring or some shit. Because that's what they do. They just annoy me by showing me clips. Back on topic. What time? How long is this? It's 53 minutes, and I haven't even done the UA anything other than this. Okay, so Izuku won. Is there a fourth place? I don't remember. So I'm just gonna say that there's third place. Tokoyami's third place. Izuku's first place. Bakugo's second place. Oh God. Okay. Jesus. So cool. Um, Now I guess we could just say that it's like the internships. Izuku interns at like just a random guy. He learns some things, I guess. He doesn't really care though, because he doesn't want to be a hero. So, I guess he would probably go with like the gun guy. Or that guy that Uraraka went with. Yeah, that guy that Uraraka went with. And just to like learn how to fight. Because, I mean, he doesn't really teach how to be a hero more, as he's just teaching how to fight, which is what Izuku needs. He doesn't really care about becoming a hero or, like, deputy shit or, like, any of that, because he doesn't want to be a hero, he wants to be a villain. which he already is, because there isn't an age to be a villain. You could just be a villain at 2. But you would probably want to be a very good villain. And so, like, he doesn't really care about Uraraka, like, talking to her wise, or anything about her. And he's, like, pretty okay with just, like, the guy that he's training with, but, like, he wouldn't care if he just dropped dead. So he learned some things over there. He goes back, and I'm pretty sure the camp thing happens next. Because stay didn't happen. Only Todoroki and Ida happened, like, fought Stain. Um, they probably won, but I mean you couldn't be for sure. But yeah, they obviously won. Um, and Izuku just like is like, okay, cool. He knows what happened. He knows why. He knows the fact that Todoroki wouldn't care and probably just fight. And he knows definitely that Ida would fight Stain. So he's like, yeah, sure, that's totally what happened. Um so he was like, yeah, whatever. And then they go to the camp. He obviously told everyone, and he goes to the low, and he just sees new recruits, Toga, and Dobby, and what's his name? The guy who makes people ball like little balls, like little blue orbs. Come, Mr. Compress. I think his name was, yeah, Mr. Compress. Spinner, I think his name was. And then the 2 other guys, Moonfish, Muscular, etc. And he's like, "Who are these new recruits?" And Shigaraki, he's now fine with Izuku. I mean, he doesn't really like adore him, but like he's okay with him. He's like, "Oh, these are the new recruits. We have Shigaraki." Shigaraki says like, "We have Toga, Spinner," and Izuku's like, "Okay, what are your guys' quirks?" And then Toga comes out and is like, "Oh, my quirks, I can transform into other people by just taking their blood." Um, the quirk is called transformation. That's totally what it's called. And then like the other guys who I don't remember what their quirks are say their quirks. Moonfish, who can't speak. Someone else just says like Shigaraki just says that that's what his quirk was, which is his teeth go out. Spinner, I don't remember what Spinner has, and I'm pretty sure he just looks like a lizard, and he just has a lot of swords. Um, oh, and Twice is also there. Jeez, I always forget about Twice for some reason. Twice says that he has split personality, but also, or dissociative identity disorder. But split personality. Um, um, and but he can also clone himself. He can clone anyone. Um, Mr. Compress tells him that he can make blue orbs and stuff. I believe that's it. And then Dobby's just like, oh, and I have cremation and like, I can burn stuff. It's blue fire. Cool, great. And then he walks away. Um, and Izuku like notices like how much he doesn't care, and he was like, "Why'd you even get that man? He literally doesn't, he barely even cares." And they're like, "Well, we kind of are associated with Stain now, so all these people idolize Stain." And Izuku's like, "Why would you idolize him? He's just a guy who became immoral from his own. He broke his own code multiple times because he just wanted to kill all heroes, but he wanted to pretend like he had a code because he felt like they all needed to die. So he's just one of us. I don't know why." the only person that he would never break his code for is stupid All Might, and All Might's not even a proper hero. And then, like, you know, that happens, and then obviously they go to the camp, um, and and then, like, I'm gonna say, like, Toga says, like, oh yeah, and what's your quirk? And Izuku's like, it's called, it's too hard to explain, just leave me alone. And he said, oh, by the way, I'm the UA trader, just don't talk about it, okay? Great, good, bye. And then he walks away, and Shigaraki's like, ugh, what happened to him? And Toko's like, what do you mean? And he was like, I don't know. He just, like, all of a sudden, like, it seemed like he used to be happy. I mean, that's at least what All For One said that he used to be. But he always just seems like he's done with everyone's bullshit, just, like, constantly. And just, like, only is in the room long enough to hear what people say. He doesn't stay anywhere whenever he needs to. Unless he needs to, I mean. And Tokoku's like, okay, I guess. Not what happened to him. Let's say, what's his problem? Um, and then Izuku just, like, walks back to, like, the school, and then he obviously tells everyone that the camp is going on. Um, obviously we know why he's so cold. Because, you know, his mother died. But Shigaraki doesn't know that. Only All For One knows this fact. Obviously, and Izuku. And I'm gonna guess Bakugo also knows. But, you know, Shigaraki doesn't. And I'm also gonna guess Bakugo's mom also knows, but, like, they're both heroes. Well, his mom's not a hero, but, like, she's on the good side. So, like, yeah. Um, just turned off this thing. Airplane. So he goes to the camp, and then, like, big thing happens. He, like, he doesn't go after Koda, but instead he, like, because he's not gonna, like, defeat him, but he kind of just tells everyone that Koda's, like, has a weird hiding spot, and then someone else, I'm gonna guess it's, like, probably, like, I don't know, someone else who's also heroic, goes and saves him when they realize the fact that Koda's missing. And they obviously know where his hiding spot is because Izuku told them. So, you know, he doesn't even care about Koda, but he just knows the fact that that's where Koda is, and he wanted to tell all the people. So eventually, you know, they all train. Izuku just, like, kind of just, like, just is like, I can train by myself, and then walks off into the woods. And then he just says, like, just you, and then he points at the girl who has, like, telepath. She's like, she's like, what? She's like, call me when something different happens. And she's like, okay. And then he just walks off into the woods, and he's like, well, instead of saying call me, he's just like, tell me. And she's like, okay. And then he just, like, walks off into the woods, and they're like, wait, where did he go? And he just, like, trains more. He probably just, like, talks to, like, everyone else. Probably just, like, Shigaraki, getting to know everyone else. Probably talking to Dabi. And then realize the fact that they both have some stuff in common, like how much they don't care. Also, how little they want to be a part of this. But also the fact that they both are really big on hating heroes. Both like say like, oh, they get really close, I would probably say. And then he'd probably be like, and then Izuku would be like, hey, what's your backstory, anyways? And Dabi's like, I will only tell you my backstory if you tell me yours. And Izuku's like, first? And he's like, no. And he's like, yes. And Izuku's like, I'm not doing mine first. You do yours first. And Dabi's like, fine, I guess. So basically, when I was a kid, I was abused to the point where I had got burns from my dad. His name was Endeavor. Probably know who he is. And he's like, isn't that Todoroki's? Isn't that that one kid that I fought's dad? And that isn't that one kid that I talked out of fighting me? And then he's like, father. And then he's like, who? And he was like, it's like this guy. His name was like Shoto or some shit. And he was like, oh yeah, that's my son. That's my son. That's my brother. And he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, yeah, I changed my name. My name used to be Toya. And then I faked my own death, dyed my hair. These burns are because it's because my mom has an ice quirk. And so my body thought I was going to have an ice quirk. But instead, I had a fire quirk. And it's really, really, really powerful. So I get burns every single time I overuse my quirk. And he's like, oh, that sucks. And he's like, okay, now your backstory. And Izuku's like, well, I wanted to be a hero for most of my life, but instead I had no quirk to be shown. One day I gave my mom a quirk, by accident when I cut myself, and she needed to heal me. So I gave her a healing quirk, and then she healed me, and I thought I had regeneration for some of my life, but then then when I cut myself again, I tried to regenerate, didn't work. Later I'd figure out the fact that she just healed me. And so I grew up being bullied because everyone just thought I was just lying and I didn't have a quirk. Really only one person didn't bully me, and that was Bakugo. Because he didn't like talk to me. He didn't like do anything to me, but he also wasn't my friend. Because we used to be best friends, so he knew I wasn't lying, but at the same time, he didn't know. He didn't care because he wanted to be popular, so he just kind of let them do whatever they want to me. And so I got bullied a lot. And then one day I was walking home, and then a villain tried to kill me, and then I gave him a slowing down quirk, but my quirk has a side effect where you have an urge to kill whenever I give you a quirk. And so he became a mass murderer, and that's when I get my powers, because every single time he kills, I get a percentage of his power. I get a percentage of the essence of the power. Like, not like the power itself, but the essence of the power. And he killed a lot of people, so I got a lot of power, and eventually I got more power than he would every single time. So yeah, that's why I'm really powerful. And then I later figured out the fact I can take away the quirks. I took away my mom's quirk. I also gave one to Bakugo. Two of them actually. And then I took them away. And then I thought I could just take this power and become a hero. But then, while my mom was walking home, she got attacked by a villain I call him Sludge Monster. Hate his guts. I wish I could kill him, but he's already dead. But then All Might went to go save her, but then he was swarmed. But then he was talking. But then instead of saving her, he just talked to the press, and she died. And then he took away the sludge villain, and didn't even notice the fact that my mom had just died, and no one even noticed my mom had died, except for her closest friend and that closest friend's son, who just happens to be Bakugo. And so I devoted my life to just, and then turns out my father's actually All For One, the greatest villain of all time. And so yeah, that's my whole storyline. And he was like, damn. And he was like, yeah, cool. and then now they have another thing in common where two of the most greatest heroes were the people that made them turn into villains. So, I mean, that's pretty fun. And then eventually it becomes the number one heroes in the latest times. Both became both are evil in their eyes. Well, Endeavor is obviously evil, but All Might's less evil. It's like not even evil. He just did it by accident and didn't notice. But in Izuku's eyes, he's completely evil, and so yeah, they became pretty good friends. So now Izuku has a whole of two friends in his entire life, one being Mei, and one other being Dabi. And then he kind of has a like I'm your brother friend with Shigaraki. So holy crap, it's already an hour 11. Well, that makes sense. Um, so he goes, um, and then like the attack happens. She calls him over for like the exercise, like the the exercise where like they all have to be blindfolded and not blindfolded. They have to like walk through a forest. And, blah, 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 blah. And then like they attack, and you know, so that happens, and nothing really happens on Izuku's side because he can't really do much. All I would probably say is that he just like sneakily knocks out some heroes to like help them out and getting. He knows the fact that he didn't give Bakugo a chance. He said kidnap Todoroki. Kidnap a man named Shota Todoroki. That's who you need to do. Because that's the man that would be most likely to become a villain. And they're like, okay. And so they get Todoroki. And eventually they get Todoroki. Muscular has been taken down by, I'm gonna guess, just like some random person, probably either Bakugo or Kirishima. So now Koda is not obsessed with Deku, but instead is obsessed with one of them. Not obsessed, but like thinks that they're his hero, and now he understands. Muscular's been taken down. Moonfish been taken down. All the original people were taken down, and Spinner's been taken down as well because I don't really care about Spinner very much. Twice is pretty fun. Toga's pretty fun. Shigaraki's pretty fun. Kirigiri's pretty fun. All for One's pretty fun. Dabi's pretty fun. Obviously, Villain Deku's pretty fun, but Spinner is not really the funnest guy. And so, they get Todoroki, and then they just disappear. Izuku has to pretend like he's, like, sad and stuff. And then he goes home, and then, like, he goes back to the area, and then they, wake up Todoroki, and, Izuku's in his full getup, the suit that he's wearing, and he's not in, like, the frame, like, both where they are, so Todoroki can't see him, but he's, like, there, probably just, like, chilling with his, like, dad in the other room, or some shit, and he just, like, he has, like, the perfect opportunity to Todoroki, so he, like, joins the thing, and then, like, Izuku claps, here, I want to do the clap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you back in this thing. It takes a little while. Give me a second. This is annoying, probably. It's like a... And then he opens up the door. And then he just, like, walks up. He gestures to, like, cover his eyes. And then he, like, walks out. And then he's just like, hi there. and then they like he like tells them to like undo it, and then like they undo it, and then he's like, Izuku, and then and then and then he's like, Midoriya, and then Izuku's like, yep, it's me, and he's like, so wait, you're the traitor, and he's like, yep, and I was like, why? And he was like, well, my dad's the number one villain, so that's probably one thing, and then he just walks away. And he's like, oh, and Toga, can you just like give him a new attire for his villain side? And then Toga's like, yeah. And then she goes, and then he just walks away. Probably just like taking Dabi with him to like go chill. Um, he's probably done with Dabi's. He's probably like giving him like a suit that like covers the thing, and then he just like gave him sunglasses. So then he's like not noticeable. Um, and then he's just like, and then he just like, like, I don't know, maybe they grab a cup of coffee or some shit, and they're just like talking and chilling. Um, and they probably brought up like, oh, how's it feel to like talk to a brother, and then Dobby is like, hey, it's really good, and then they're like, oh, that's good, and then they go back. Now that there's two traders, he obviously shows Izuku. They obviously show Izuku Todoroki's new getup, which I'm just gonna say it's um like a black cloak, and then like some glasses because he needs to see, because normally he just wears contacts or some shit. And then they like dyed his red side black. And then yeah, and then they put in, and then whenever he wears his contacts instead of the glasses, he doesn't give himself the blue eyes, but instead he gives himself the black eyes, and then the gray eyes on the other side. So then it can be like, complete. But then they just like dye his hair back to red, and then just like send him off. I'm guessing that his dye is just like temporary, but like very temporary. Like you can wash it and then it goes out, just so then he has like a different face. And then they go back. Now he has the whole three friends, Todoroki being one of them because he, is talking about being traitors and stuff. Dobby being another one of them, and then May, who he talks to regularly. It just doesn't really matter. Now that the campus happened, time for the license. Yay! And then after that, it's it. Done. This is done. So, obviously the license happens. I'm just gonna say, like, obviously, for the first part, I believe it's just they tap things, and he recruits May, and, because I'm pretty sure they also have to get the license, May and Todoroki, and then just, like, books it with them, and then they just, like, find a small area, and then they just, like, plan out what they're gonna do, and then they go out, they do their thing. I'm guessing that the plan is to find a group of people who look like they're just like teaming up to just team up, and like because they're scared, so they probably just like find just like random people, and then they defeat them, and then they go back inside, and then that happens. Then the next thing, they obviously just like save random people. Izuku doesn't really want to save people, but he has to get the license, so then he can look like he's fitting in. And so like he just like does it, and then he's done, and then he has to obviously fight the guy, and then he fights the guy, which he likes because he's obviously a hero. He's just pretending to be a villain. Air pain. So he like just like beats him, like just like he's done with him, and he just like boom, villain got down. And then he just like quickly like punches all the extra guys, and then he just like goes and he just like sits down and just like talks to Todoroki and stuff, and then Mei as well comes in, just like, hey, what's up? And then they talk, and then it's over. They get their licenses, and then they go back home. Or do they have the dorms by now? They probably have the dorms. And Izuku just like asks Mei to come to like this area with Todoroki as well. And then she comes, and then they're like, hey, follow us. And she's like, okay. And then they bring her to the Low. She's like, what is this place? And they're like, oh, it's a really nice juice joint. And they're like, and she's like, okay. And then they walk in, and they're like, she's like, oh, this place does look cool. And then like they call over Kirigiri, and then like I'm guessing like Todoroki like locks the door, and then she's like, wait, what is isn't that the villain? And Izuku was like, yeah. And then he like motions Todoroki to go get like changed into his villain costume, and then she's like, wait, what are we doing here? And she was like, sit down. And then like bursts over and gets like a chair, someone's right behind her, and then he's like, sit down. And then she sits down, and she's like, okay, what is this place? And then he like snaps, and then like Kirigiri, he snaps at, and then he's like, hey, what do you want? And she was like, what juice do you want? And she's like, I guess just fruit punch. And then he like snaps and points at her, and like Kirigiri starts getting it, and she's like, so this is a juice joint. And he's like, I guess you could say that. And he's like, so have you ever, quick question. And she's like, okay. And he's like, why did you become a hero? She was like, well, I've always wanted to make stuff, and like I thought just like being a hero would be the greatest thing ever, so yeah. And she was like, and he was like, oh, so you don't want to save people? And she's like, well, I guess like could, but like, she's like, I guess yeah. And then he's like, well, that didn't sound very true. That didn't sound very truthful. And she was like, yeah, well, I mostly just want to make machines. And he was like, oh, okay. And then at that point, he already put down the fruit punch. And she's like, so why are we here again? And then he's like, oh, I thought it was pretty obvious by now. He just like runs over, gets his suit ready, and like, you know, I'm gonna guess like he's like wearing he's like wearing a wig or some shit. He takes it off, and it's like his natural darker hair, because he normally dyed it lighter or some shit. And then he just like washes out the hair, and it's very dark. And then he like bolts back, and then she's like, what is this? And he's like, oh, it's just my getup. And she's like, what do you mean? And then Todoroki at this point walks out, and he's wearing like his villain costume, and she's like, wait, you guys look like villains. And Izuku was like, and he did like the like, yeah, duh, like the like, yeah, duh face. And she's like, oh my god, you guys are villains? And he was like, yeah, we're the traitors. And she was like, what? And he was like, yeah, do you want to join the League of Villains? And she was like, wait, what? And he was like, well, you're nice, and I don't want you to like die, so like either you join the League of Villains or we erase your memory, and then you just go back, and then you eventually just die. So you won't remember this, you'll still be our friends. Or you could just become a villain and create tech that are and with no boundaries and way better materials, infinite materials actually, to make whatever you want. And it's not like we're gonna destroy all of mankind. Our goal here is just to make all the heroes be better. And she's like, really? And he was like, yeah, we just want the heroes to be better, because they all just like destroyed us. And she was like, what do you mean? And he was like, all of us are here because heroes broke us. We all here wanted to be a hero at one point, including me, including Todoroki, including Shigaraki, including All For One even. He wanted to be a hero. She was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, he had it All For One. He had the quirk All For One. Basically, he can give people quirks, but instead of becoming a hero, everyone just thought that he would be. Everyone just like shunned him because they thought that his brother was nicer, so he became a villain instead. The first villain actually, and so yeah, that's why he's here. She's like, wait, so that's why you're all here? And he was like, yeah, in fact, you'll be the only person here who's not been shunned by heroes. She was like, how? That's crazy. And he was like, yeah, you want to know something crazy? And she was like, what? He was like, he like looks over to them and he's like, and he like mouths like, can I tell them to like Dobby? Can I tell her to like Dobby? And he's like, sure. And he's like, well, Endeavor made these two people become villains. Number two hero, and All Might made me become a villain. Number one hero. Toga was shunned because she had a villain quirk. Kurogiri was shunned, was taken in here because he did not fit in quotation, like he just like quotes. All for One, I already told you. Twice was pointed as crazy because he had two different personalities. Stain, who isn't here, just wanted heroes to be better because they were all that messed up. All the other people who were Mr. Compress just wanted to be a magician, but instead everyone just thought that his tricks were lame. Even the heroes were like, he's pretty bad when he was brought up in conversation. And so now he's here. Everyone here, and then even the people that were taken down, like all of the like muscular who literally got hurt by villains, but hurt by heroes, or any other person that we've put it into a roster, except for those mindless thugs, were shunned by heroes. Heroes are messed up. We're just trying to correct what needs to be corrected. And she's like, wow, okay. And he's like, wait, really? She was like, yeah, sure. I mean, if heroes are that bad, why not? And he was like, yes, great. That was the best choice that you can make. She was like, okay. Because he was like, either that or you would have just forgotten everything that we just told you and you would have just been killed. She was like, oh, yeah, you just told me that. And he was like, yeah, well, it would have happened. And so now we have 3 traders. She will get a new getup where she just looks like she has like a mechanics like a mechanics thing, but it's like a bunch. But instead of like it just being like a mechanics getup, it has like really like cool goggles that are like that are like perfect in like every way, like it's like perfect for like sunglass, like to like protect against welding, like it's indestructible, like, and then like the mechanic thing is just like full of gadgets, and like she has infinite amounts of tools and infinite amounts of materials, and like that's her getup. And they dye her hair black, again temporary. They dye her hair purple, I would actually say, which is also temporary, but you know, once they like very temporary, but once they get like showed, like once they get revealed, they will just like get like a permanent dye. Which does exist in this world, because I'm guessing there's someone with like a Quirk who did that thing. That's why Dobby is permanently black haired. And so that's her get up, and so she's like, wow, this is really cool. And she just like immediately gets to work. She gets all of her babies, that her old babies that are from the thing, and she's like, I want to take these home. And then he's like, okay. And she takes them all and she brings them back to the area. And then he's like, oh, and there's one thing extra. And she was like, what? Well, you're gonna give some of these to us. And she's like, oh, okay. Yeah, and he's like, anything that you make, we can technically use, and you could even use. She's like, oh, okay, that's fair. And so now there's that person, and at this point, um, Dabi officially has a crush on Izuku. Like he already had it, but like I'm obviously aging down Dabi a lot, so he's like only a little bit older than Shoto. Maybe like he would have been a third year or something. So like 2 years older than Shoto. And then I literally was told this by someone. Fuyumi. I'm sorry. I'm butchering this. The sister of Shoto is 1 year, and then the other guy, not Natsuto, is a twin with the other chick, and so they're only 2 years apart, and then 1 year apart, and then that guy. So yeah, um, boom, so yeah, he has a crush on Dub, and then I would say Izuku has a crush on Dabi, but he like doesn't know it. So if he sees like Dabi shirtless or something, he would probably blush really hard and like something like that. But like, or if like he gets too close or like he flirts or anything like that, he'd blush, but he doesn't know why at this point. Cool. But Dabi definitely knows. Um, so um. So I'm going to make up something because this needs to be a little bit longer for the relationship to really blossom. So I'm gonna say another thing happens. Maybe like so we're gonna veer off very hard. I'm gonna say they try to reuse the USJ. Um, they try to do the USJ again. But in doing so, while they're attacking, while the Lobot's attacking, because of course they're gonna attack again. Now Dobby's there, Toga's there, and stuff. But now they all have new gadgets. Um, and like someone tries to make someone someone tells Izuku to attack Dabi, and he doesn't because I mean he doesn't wanna because not only are they friends but also he doesn't wanna. And so that kind of like almost out like they're kind of like is very suspicious. Um, and Izuku's kind of just like he now knows because of the All for One battle. Well, obviously they had to save Todoroki. Quote again because Todoroki wasn't actually saved. He was just like he pretended to be saved. And obviously now everyone knows that All Might's done for, so that doesn't matter anymore. Izuku has his license now, and so what he does is he just reveals the fact that he's a villain. So instead of just attacking Dabi, what he does is he just bolts over and just like kills Midnight, who's there, I guess, and this is gonna be really bad, and I don't like this, but he's gonna kill Aizawa. Aizawa, no. And then he kills All Might, who's there, and then he also kills 13. So he kills all the big heroes there, and then he just runs back, and then he just looks over at Todoroki, and then Todoroki just is like, oh, okay, and then he lights ablaze every single other of the students. So good night, forever, all the other students. And then they just walk home. They walk to the villain lair. Now that they're completely outed, they just permanently, Izuku just stops dyeing his hair, and Todoroki just permanently dyes his hair black. Now Izuku basically only rocks his getup that he normally has as a villain. And Todoroki also normally just holds his getup. So I would say, in the process of doing that, I think Izuku realizes the fact that he has a crush on Dabi, so he like kind of just like tells Dabi to like meet him at some place. So like meet him at like they go down their like weekly coffee shop, and while they're walking there, Izuku like veers off. And then just like when Dabi like tries to like see where he's going, Izuku just like turns around and like kisses him or something. Like he just like pulls him in and kisses him, and then like he just like hopes that Dabi doesn't hate this. Like, thank God. And then Dabi is like surprise. That's my phone dying because for some reason my phone is not charging. Yeah, whatever. So, and then he like gets out and it's just like, and then it's like Izuku just like looks into Dabi eyes, I guess, and then I don't know. I guess Dabi kisses him. Like they stop kissing, and then Dabi kisses him, and then they go back, and as they're walking back home, they like officialize everything. They're like, yeah, we're boyfriends. Gay ships need to be made. Then they tell everyone, and then they go on a rampage and just like kill all the heroes that they think are not worthy, and then Izuku just kind of just like all for one just like dies, and then Izuku gets his powers. He becomes like a big man, and then just like makes it like a boss, like the boss of the world, like you could say, and then makes it so then heroes don't get paid. And also they're not allowed to tell anyone their identities, so they can't get any glory. So that's what they do. So then no one really gets the big head. And then he also makes it so then Izuku also makes it so then there's like not as many agencies as before, because now he knows like no one's gonna do it anymore. I'm gonna guess he also, and then he just like stops becoming that, and then and then he like locks it in, and then he just retires. Now he has Dabi, and then he makes kids. Todoroki and Mei are just his friends. I'm just gonna say that they also get married. He also makes it so then, like, they don't get arrested. But like, what was gonna be the point about it anyways? They can't arrest them. And so yeah, that's where I'm gonna end it. That's the series end. And I hope you enjoyed this series. So I forgot my outro. So goodbye. I hope you enjoy. This I, Anime Gamer, going away to like a Paris. Goodbye. Hope you enjoy this video.